Yo, what is up, YouTube? Welcome back to another video. Now here's actually one of my first videos on this channel. So as you can see, we have the Air Jordan 4 Motorsports from 2017. Now for this shoe being 5 years old, it's not in bad condition. As you can see, the bottoms, there's no star loss. It's barely dirty. It's not really much heel drag. The inside, I mean, I guess it's kind of dirty. The netting, as you can see right here on the side, the netting is pretty yellow, like it's piss yellow. There's scuffs on the front. Now, don't get me wrong, I've seen pairs in worse condition, so this shouldn't be too hard to fix up. Right here on the back, just some scuffs and scratches. The bottoms, no star loss, a little bit dirty. Not really much heel drag, just some dirt to get rid of. But yeah, that's pretty much the entire shoe. So without further ado, let's get right into it. Alright, so for today's video, we're going to be using 3 brushes. So right here, we have the Rejuvenator Soft Bristle Brush, which we're going to use to clean up the uppers. Right here, we have the Rejuvenator Medium Bristle Brush, which you can use to clean up midsoles as well as some uppers. And right here, we have the Rejuvenator Stiff Bristle Brush, which you can use to clean the bottoms or rubber soles. For today's video, we're only going to be working on one shoe, so we're going to put this shoe to the side right here. The left shoe seems to be in a bit worse condition. As you can see, there's scuffs on the front, so let's get right to it. Now, also right here, I do have the original insoles. Now, they came out super clean. They did have a ton of little lint balls on it, as you can see, and they turned out super dope. The Jumpman isn't even faded, so that's why I have the tape on it to prevent it from fading. Now, you might call me crazy, but it is what it is. So right here, we're going to be using Jason Mark Shoe Cleaner. Now, I did run out of Rejuvenator, but I mean, I'm not sponsored by anyone, so it doesn't really matter what you use. You could use soap and water if you really wanted to, because, I mean, it is leather uppers. So you don't want to use dish soap because over time, it will dry out the material. You don't really want that. So as you can see, you're just going to use the soft bristle brush to scrub along the uppers. You know, you want to get it really sudsy, bubble the shoe up, you know, just give it a nice good cleaning with the soft bristle brush. Now, as you can see, I'm getting the entire shoe. You want to clean the shoe evenly. So, yeah, let's get right onto the video. Now, also, I do want to mention that when you are cleaning Jordan 4s, you do want to clean under the wings and under the little plastic tab thing in the front. I mean, I don't really know what they're called, but I don't really think it matters. But as you can see, I'm pulling down the little plastic tab and getting under there because there is debris, dirt, bacteria, and everything, all that bad stuff. So you want to get all that out. So as you can see, just giving the shoe really nice cleaning. So yeah, just make sure you clean all around. And right here, you do want to pat down the shoe with a nice clean soft microfiber towel. Alright, so right here, this is the shoe nice and cleaned up so far. So right now, we're just going to hit up the insides of the shoe. So let's get right to it. Alright, so right here we have our Rejuvenator Medium Bristle Brush. Now this one's a little bit tougher. This is the all-purpose brush, which you can pretty much use on almost all materials. As you can see, it's still soft, but a little bit stiffer than the soft bristle. You could use this to clean leather uppers, and I'm not sure exactly which materials exactly, but pretty much almost anything. So I'm going to be using this to clean the midsoles, give it a nice deep scrub, and yeah, let's get right onto it. I also do want to mention to clean the little air unit right here, what you want to do is just grab a towel, any old towel, wrap it around your finger like so, and then you just clean it right on the insides like this, and that's pretty much how you clean in between the space where the air unit is. So now right here we have the Rejuvenator Stiff Bristle Brush. As you can see, this is the stiffest out of all of the 3 right here. As you can see, it's kind of stiff, and I have to apply some pressure to actually get it to bend. So what we're going to do is we're going to use this to clean up the bottom. So let's get right to it. Right here, you don't want to use the stiff bristle brush on midsoles because there is a chance of the paint chipping, so only use it on rubber soles. Alright, so right here, as you can see, there's still some dirt on the bottom right here. up here as well where the white lining is still pretty dirty. I mean, the brush didn't really do too good of a job, so we're just gonna keep scrubbing. Yeah, right here, down here, it's still some dirt, so let's get back to work. Right here, we're going to be using Beauty Secrets Pure Acetone. We're going to try to get those stains from the bottom gone. So we're just going to get a towel, use some acetone to try to get it out. Alright, so right here, as you can see, the bottoms did clean up a lot nicer using the acetone with the towel. As you can see, even where the heel is, all the stains are gone. Well, most of the stains. Now up here, you still have a little bit staining on the lining right there, so let's get that out right now. Alright, so as you can see, the top part, it did clean up very nicely with the acetone. There's still some slight staining on the top, as you can see. The majority of it is out, so we're just going to continue with the rest of this restoration. Alright, so we're all done with the bottoms, and right here, as you can see, the netting is piss yellow. We're gonna have to reverse that. As you can see, there's scuffs and stuff. The bottoms, they actually turned out really nicely. I'm happy with how the bottoms turned out. They cleaned up really nicely. So right here, let's get the other shoe. And as you can see, this one, the netting is also piss yellow. There's, oh my, terrible scuffs and scratches. Like, it's just, I'm not saying it's the worst, but this shoe could use some work. So right here, as you can see, even the patch is yellow. So right now what we're going to do is we're just going to get to work on the nettings. Alright, so before we work on the netting, I do want to take care of the insides. As you can see, there's a lot of little lint balls on the inside, as well as this shoe. I mean, it's not as bad, but there is some on the inside. So first, we're going to take out our shoe trees just to really get in there. Then next, what we're going to want to do is get our tool, which is a lint shaver. Now, you can get these online. You get them at Walmart, Target, wherever. It doesn't, I don't really think it matters. You can get them pretty much anywhere. But yeah, we're just going to get our lint shaver and just get to work. So let's get right to it. Alright, so as you can see, this shoe did turn out pretty nicely. There's no more lint balls, just a little bit right here on the inside, which I couldn't really reach to, but I mean, that's okay. I'll just get that off camera. But let's check out this other shoe. This one, it's only a little bit. It's not that bad, but this could use some work, so let's get right to it. Alright, so we're all done with the inside, so let's just put our shoe trees back in the shoes. And right here, as you can see, the netting is still pretty piss yellow, so now we're going to get right to work on that. We're just going to repaint it with some white paint. So we're going to put this other shoe to the side. We're only going to be working on one right now. So what we're going to do is we're going to get these cut up cotton swabs. As you can see, I just cut off the tip of it. What we're going to do is we're going to put it inside the netting to separate the mesh from the netting. So let's get right to it. Alright, so as you can see, we do have the Q-tips inside the nettings. That way it separates the netting from the mesh, which is good because you don't want to get any paint on it. So right now what we're going to do is, you're just going to put on some gloves, just some mandatory stuff. You don't want to get any paint on your hands. So just put some gloves on, keep it clean. So right here, what we're going to do is we're going to put the shoe down and grab some Scotch tape, just some normal masking tape. That way we can tape down the wing to the bottom of the shoe so it doesn't get in the way while we're painting. So right here, we're just going to get a piece of tape, tape it down to the shoe right here, as you can see. And right now what we're going to do is we're going to get onto painting. So let's get right to it. So right here, what we're going to do is we're going to be using some Beauty Secrets Pure Acetone to wipe down the netting. Now, I usually use acetone on paint and stuff like that to remove it, but I like to use them on my, whenever I repaint nettings, because it just gives me a cleaner paint job in the end. So what we're going to do is just going to cotton ball, cotton swab, whatever you want to use, and just give it a quick little wipe down, as you can see, because you don't want blotchy parts of paint on the netting. You just want to give it a nice clean paint job. So as you can see right here, I'm just wiping it down. Make sure you get every little line, every single spot. And you just want to take your time with it, just really trust the process. Just take your time, and you don't want to rush the preparations, because then the final product won't, it won't come out clean. It won't come out good. So right here, as you can see, I just gave it a nice quick wipe down. So right now we're going to be using some Angelus White Paint with a mix of Angelus 2 Hard. Now you want to use a 50-50 ratio of these two, a 1-to-1 ratio or 1-to-2 ratio. Actually, I'm not even sure. I just use half of each. Just if you're going to put a specific amount of the white paint, you want to put the same amount of the too hard pretty much, because white paint doesn't stick to the plastic or whatever material is on the netting. I'm pretty sure it's plastic anyways, but it doesn't stick to the plastic. It just peels off, it cracks pretty easily. So you want to mix it with some too hard, that way so it sticks on a lot better and it'll last a lot longer pretty much. So that's why I use the too hard. So as you can see, you just want to shake up the bottle real quick and just pour it in with the white paint. You want to give it a nice mix up. So yeah, let's get on to the rest of the video. Paintbrush I'm going to be using right here is an Angelus paintbrush. Now I just bought this on Amazon. You can pretty much, I think you can get it at a Michael's store, just almost any paint store. What we're going to do is you're going to dip the paintbrush in the paint. You're going to want to go nice and neatly and just paint the netting as you see me doing here. So you want to do nice and even coats. You want to start off with light coats. Don't just get a bunch of paint, just put it all on there. You want to do light coats and work your way up, because you get a cleaner paint job in the end. So as you can see right here, I'm just painting the netting. So let's get on with the rest of the video. So as you can see, we finished painting the netting and it is back to white. Now all we have to do is just pull out the little Q-tips, and yeah, let's get right to it. Also, I do want to mention right here, when you see me removing the Q-tip from the netting, it is pulling on the netting, which is why you don't want to use Q-tips, because the paint will stick to the thing. You want to use zip ties instead. Much cleaner, much easier. So I made a mistake here in this video, but for future reference, use zip ties. Alright, so right here, as you can see, we got it all done. As you can see, there's still some yellow spots because of the Q-tips. So right now, we're just going to get back to painting it. So let's get right to it. Alright, so right now what we're going to do is we're going to grab some Scotch tape. We're going to tape around all the edges, spray it with a matte finish. So let's get right to taping. Alright, so the shoe is fully taped up, as you can see. Now we're just going to put a little bit more rubbing alcohol on the wing and get it prepped for a spray. So let's get right on with it. Alright, we are back from a spray, and as you can see, the netting and the wings turned out super clean. No more scratch or scuffs or nothing like that. And we did spray it with the matte finish, so it will protect the paint. So right now what we're going to do is we're going to take off the tape. So let's get right to that. Also, what I did want to show you guys is right here, the netting on the front is piss yellow, and as you can see right here, is back to white. So the difference is night and day. I just wanted to show you guys what a difference it does. So right now we're going to paint this white, we're going to paint the other side back to white. So let's get right to that. Alright, so we are back from painting. As you can see, it is back to factory white as it should be. So right now what we're going to do is we're going to finish painting this. We're going to tape everything off, wipe this with acetone and the back tab, and we're going to give everything a good spray just like we did with those wings. So let's get right to it. Alright, so as you can see, we started the paint job and it looks super clean. The yellow from the white, super dope. So what I do is I paint in rows. So I go sideways first and then up and down. So we're just going to get finished with this paint job. Alright, so as you can see, we are back and the results are in. This is before, and what we did is we used Angelus White paint with a mix of Too Hard and a paintbrush, and we got it back to coke white as it should be. So right now we're going to use some pure acetone. We're going to wipe down the wings and the back tab, give it a good spray with a matte finish along with the netting, and also get rid of some of these scuffs and scratches, as you can see on the front and the back right here. Bottoms turned out super clean, so we're just going to tape up the shoe. So let's get on with it. Yes sir, as you can see we have the shoe fully taped up and ready top to bottom. So right now what we're going to do is we're going to prep the wings and the back tab. So we're just going to grab some acetone, we're going to put a little bit in the cap, and what you're going to want to do from there is just get either cotton balls or a Q-tip and just want to rub it down, as you see me doing right here. Rub down each and every part. You even want to get the Jumpman too, and then we're going to spray it with some matte finish. Alright you guys, we are back, and as you can see everything turned out super clean, super dope, just the way I want it. So let's take off this tape. So this shoe turned out super dope, super clean. As you can see, before and after, piss yellow back to coke white. So right now, as you can see, just a couple of scuffs and scratches on the back right here. So we're gonna do this shoe off camera, but right now we're gonna work on the uppers. So let's get right to it. Alright, so one thing I completely forgot to do to this shoe is that we're going to be using Scotch tape to tape up the midsoles, because as you can see the paint is still factory and I don't want to ruin the paint. So right now what we're going to do is we're just going to tape up the midsoles. So let's get right to that. Alright, so as you can see we fully taped up the shoes. So right now what we're going to do is we're going to use cotton balls and acetone, and we're going to fully wipe down the shoes. So let's get right to that. Alright, so we are back, and just a quick little update. We wiped everything down, acetone, everything looks good. The only thing that really happened is right here on the back where we wiped this down with acetone. As you can see, totally just disintegrated this stuff. So we're just gonna put some super glue on there and we're gonna fix it right up. So let's get right to it. Alright, so we are back from the reglue, and as you can see it turned out super nice, held up super good. So right now what we're going to do is we're going to grab our sandpaper, and you want to start off using 400 grit, 800 grit, and then 2000. You want to start low, then work your way up, make sure everything's nice and smooth. So we're going to prep up the shoe right now for a repaint, sand it down, make sure everything's smooth, no debris. So let's get right to it. So right here we're going to start off using 400 grit sandpaper. So here's just a quick little update. As you can see, everything looks pretty smooth. The only really way to see if you made any progress is by just feeling it, see how smooth it is, if there's any bumps. So that's why I took off my glove. So as you can see, there's still little spots when it is sand down. So right now I'm using 400 grit sandpaper. You always want to start low and work your way up. So 400, 800, 2000. So right now we're just going to get right back to it. Alright you guys, so as you can see we finished sanding it down and everything feels really good. The only way you can really tell is by feeling it with your fingers, so that's why I took off my glove. You don't want to feel any bumps or anything, just want to make sure it's fully smooth. So we started off using 400 grit sandpaper and then 800, and then you want to finish it off with 2000 grit. So right now we are ready for a paint job, so it's pretty smooth. So yeah, let's get right on to painting. Alright, so as you can see we're going to start off using Angelus White Leather Paint. You just want to give it a quick shake up, you know, before you start using it, so the paint doesn't come like blotchy or anything. So right now what we're going to do is we're going to pour a little bit of paint into this palette right here. Just want to go a little bit. You don't really need too much, just whatever you're going to use to fill up whatever you need to paint. So right now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the paint away, and I'm going to start using my brush. So I'm using a hand brush, and right here I am using an Angelus angular brush. So I'm probably going to start painting on the toe box right here, as you can see. So without further ado, let's get to painting. Alright guys, we are back from a repaint. As you can see, everything turned out super smooth, super clean, back to a factory finish. So as you can see, there's still little stuff on the wings right there, which of course I'm going to fix up before we get to spraying. But what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to spray the shoe with a matte finish to protect the paint. As you can see right there on the toe box, I also painted that as well. So I will catch you guys when I'm back from the spray. Alright guys, so we are back from the spray, and as you can see, everything turned out super clean. There's no more scuffs or scratches or nothing. So yeah, right now what we're going to do is we're going to take off all the tape. So let's get to untaping. Alright you guys, so we are back, and as you can see, we fully took off the tape. Everything looks good on the shoe, and all that's left is to tape up the shoe. As you can see, there's no visible flaws other than this right here, which I'll probably do off camera. But for right now, let's get to lacing. Alright, so right here, as you can see, I have the original insoles. So let's put the insoles inside the shoe. And here we have the OG laces. So right now what we're gonna do is we're just gonna lace up the shoe. So let's get right to it. Right here, this restoration is complete, so let me just give you guys a full look at both shoes. Alright guys, so we have finished restoring these Air Jordan 4 Motorsports from 2017. Now in my opinion, compared to how they were, these cleaned up super dope. As you can see, the insole prints there. It's just kind of hard to see because of the lighting. But wow, man, there's no scuffs on the paint or nothing, no flaws. These look just like brand new. I'm actually really happy with how these turned out. As you can see, everything turned out super clean, just like dead stock condition. So right here, you can find me at Kamui Kicks on Instagram, TikTok, any social media platform. Here are my business cards. You can DM me for any inquiries. And that's pretty much gonna wrap it for today's video. So make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and stay tuned for more content.